Okay, welcome to today's demo lesson. This is going to be a B2, which is a high intermediate level lesson. So this might be more of a challenge for most of you watching this channel. This lesson today is called Conditionals Untrue in the Past. And this is going to make more sense as we actually do the demo lesson. So just hang in there, watch it for a little bit, and you're going to start seeing when we start doing conditionals. We're going to be doing quite a few conditionals this time around because there's quite a few challenges. This is actually based on one of my students had a lot of challenges with conditionals, so I'm making these demo lessons for her. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys in the actual demo lesson in a few seconds. Hey, this is Michael with Michael's Business English. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Rincon. I'm a former six-figure data analyst turned ESL instructor and career coach. I support English language learners improve their career development through communications and language training. If you're new here, on this channel we talk about business English, communications, and career development. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you like and subscribe, and all the links mentioned in this video will be found in the description box below. Okay, welcome to today's demo lesson. This time we're going to do conditionals untrue in the past. This is a level B2 demo lesson. The objectives for today are to use the third conditional, form and usage, to introduce the concept of how the speaker feels the statement is untrue in the past, and to highlight the use of be, get, and have in third conditional, use of verb in third conditional statements, right? You should be familiar with past perfect. So if you're not familiar with the past perfect tense, it might be a good idea to pause this video and go study up on the past perfect. Keep in mind that for third conditional, we use the past perfect in the if clause and would have plus verb in the results clause. And we are referring to the past. All right, so let's begin. For a warm-up, I want you to match each scenario to the conditional sentences. So the scenario, and then you have a condition. Let's do it real quick. Scenario is, every day, Joan eats breakfast. She believes it gives her energy. Now, conditional sentence. She won't have any energy if she doesn't eat breakfast. If he doesn't have so much work, he would go to the cinema. If she had slept on the floor, like, so I think it's pretty clear, right? So, like, she wouldn't have any energy if she didn't eat breakfast. Jennifer slipped on the floor at work. Unfortunately, she broke her arm. If she hadn't slipped on the floor, she wouldn't have broken her arm. Michael wants to go to the cinema tonight. He doesn't think he can go because there's a lot of work to do at the office. If he didn't have so much work, he would go to the cinema. Right? That's what conditional looks like, so understand that. Here's some more examples. Look at the sentences again. Which sentences refer to the present or future, and which one refers to the past, right? So let's play this game. So the first sentence, is this present or future? She won't have any energy if she doesn't eat breakfast. Is it present, future, or past is the question. The answer is it's present or future, right? So she won't have any energy if she does not eat breakfast. Talk about the present. How about this one? If he doesn't have so much work, he would go to the cinema. Is that present, future, or past? Right. So this one's actually future. He would go. Right. There's something that different that he would go. Right. If she hadn't slipped on the floor, she wouldn't have broken her arm. This is present, future, or past. It's past tense. This is the dead giveaway. See the verb tense? Broken is the past tense, right? This is why the past tense was important to understand the tenses here. Look at the sentences again, right? Conditional sentences. She won't have any energy if she doesn't eat breakfast. No breakfast means no energy. If he didn't have so much work, he would go to the cinema. Too much work means no cinema. If she hadn't slipped on the floor, she wouldn't have broken her arm. She slipped on the floor and she broke her arm, right? So that's the way it's trying to show you. It's like, if she hadn't slipped on the floor, She broke her arm. She slipped on the floor first, then she broke her arm. So third conditional, right? Here's a situation I want you to look at. Last week, Rachel came to New York for 3 days. Yesterday, Sally, who lives in New York, learned this piece of news. She learns, so clear when she's talking about this piece of news, that Rachel came to New York. Right? So she found out that Sally came to New York. Sally found out that Rachel came to New York. When she speaks to Sally, she says, "If I had known you were in town, I would have met you for lunch." Had known, would have met. Right? So interesting. Third conditional for an explanation or apology. Right? So if I had known you were in town, I would have met you for lunch. This is an untrue statement about a situation in the past. In truth, Sally did not know that Rachel was in town, and Sally did not meet Rachel for lunch. That's why it's a third conditional. That's why it's considered untrue, right? Because she didn't know. Like, if I had known, I didn't know. Right? If I had known you were in town, I didn't know you were in town, I would have met you for lunch. I couldn't meet you for lunch. I did not meet you. Would have means I didn't. Remember, would mean, right? So make some third conditionals. Here are some more exercises for you to do. If you hadn't left your passport at home, if Owen hadn't worked late last night, if I hadn't taken the 10:40 a.m. train, and if it hadn't rained so much last weekend. So then the right side is he would have finished the report. I wouldn't have arrived home on time. You would have caught the plane. We would have gone to the beach. Okay, so let's try one at a time. If you hadn't left your passport at home, what's the correct answer? Right? Is it he would have finished the report? I wouldn't have arrived home on time. You would have caught the plane, or we would have gone to the beach. So, passport, plane, right? Because passports are typically required for transportation. If Owen had worked late last night, he would have finished the report, wouldn't have arrived home in time. We would have gone to the beach. Right, so interesting they can go for multiple, but in this case it's he would have finished the report, right? If I hadn't taken the 10:40 a.m. train, right, in this case I would have arrived. If I hadn't taken the 10:40 a.m. train, I wouldn't have arrived home on time. If it hadn't rained so much last weekend, we would have gone to the beach. Untrue in the past. Look at this condition, right? So if it hadn't rained so much last weekend, we would have gone to the beach. The if clause tells us about a situation that is untrue. It did rain last weekend, right? But if it hadn't, that's why it's untrue. It's third conditional. The result clause tells us about an activity that is untrue. We didn't go to the beach. Okay? Alright, let's cover the homework real quick. And we're going to look at this, give some examples. Let's see. So choose the correct verb below to complete each sentence in the third conditional. Consider whether the verb should be positive or negative and be sure to use the correct tense. If I had seen you at the market, I X hello. I receive, I B say immigrate. So what do you think it is? Would have said. Remember, this is in the past. Remember past tense? I had seen you. If I had seen you, which was untrue, right? I hadn't seen you. It's untrue because I had not seen you. If I had seen you, I would have said hello. If my grandparents went to Australia, I would have grown up in Greece. Right? So which one is it? Is it receive, be, say, or immigrate? It is hadn't immigrated. So why is this hadn't immigrated? Because first of all, immigrate means you go to a different country. The reason it's hadn't and is had not, another way of looking at it is had not, right? So had not immigrated. If my grandparents had not immigrated to Australia, I would have grown up in Greece. The reason it's a negative, it's had not immigrated, is because we can infer from this, because if they had immigrated to Australia, then she could not have grown up in Greece, because Australia and Greece are two different countries altogether. So if her grandparents had immigrated to Australia, then she couldn't have grown up in Greece, right? But if her grandparents hadn't immigrated to Australia, meaning they meaning if they had not had it, sorry, let me rephrase that. If her grandparents had not immigrated to Australia, meaning that they did do it, it's an untrue statement, meaning they had immigrated to Australia. So it's because if my grandparents had not immigrated to Australia, meaning like they did go to Australia, because they did go to Australia, I would have grown up in Greece. Right? Does that make sense? Because they had immigrated. My grandparents had not immigrated to Australia. Okay, let's move to the next one. These words are all in verb 1. Rewrite them in verb 3. That's interesting. I wonder why they're calling it verb 1, 2, and 3. Just curious. Past tense, I'm guessing, right? So like, noticed, lost, example, for gotten, right? So here's some more. Write the correct answer in the space provided at the end of the sentence. If the flight from Mumbai had arrived on time, Primolia would have caught, would catch, would have catched her connecting flight to Edinburgh. Okay, so which one is it? So if the flight from Mumbai had arrived on time, so what tense is this? Had arrived on time. It's past tense, right? Primolia would have caught, or is it catch? Would have catched her connecting flight. This is also past tense. Right? Would have caught, would have catched connecting flight. Okay? Thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope to see you guys in class. See you guys in the next video.